to the Los Olivos Wine Merchant and Cafe, where you not only get to taste California Central Coast wines, but you also get to meet the winemakers. Today, I have Garrett Gamache of Ground Truth Wines. Garrett, if you can sum an aspect of yourself that gets infused into the wines in one word, I'm giving him a little bit of a leeway with this, what would that word be?
Probably non-intervention. I'm just all about letting it be and let the vineyard do its work. So just hands off. And that's, I'd say that sums up my personality too. Just let it be.
And how did you get into winemaking? You look pretty young. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay.
So I started just with a couple other local winemakers back when I was still in college. When I was 21, I started working for Ryan Carr down in Santa Barbara. Ryan got me into the vineyards, actually. That was when I started farming too, just helping him out.
So were you going to college and then you started working at Carr Winery? Okay.
Yeah, well, I was working there while I was in college. And started working in the vineyards at the same time for Ryan. And then, so my background is actually not in viticulture or enology. I actually studied geology.
Okay.
And I tried working in the geology field for a while, but I was just cooped up in an office and couldn't do it. So I wanted back outside, back in the vineyards. So that's why I kind of redirected my focus to farming.
Tell us a little bit about, your label obviously represents, your hands-off approach to being about the ground. And if you can also tell us a little bit about this really cool image that you have on your labels.
So the name Ground Truth, it actually comes from, ground truthing is kind of the process of validating usually map data in geologic fields. So, you have a map and then you need to go make sure that map's correct. So you go put some boots on the ground, walk around and make sure that all the features are correct. Ground Truth kind of infers that the wine is a representation of where it's coming from, being the vineyard.
And so each of the vineyards that you have represents something, have different qualities for that specific varietal that's growing there. If you can just give us an example, one of them.
Yeah, I've sourced fruit from regions that I think showcase all the coolest qualities of the particular varietal in this county. So, for example, Kimsey Syrah. I think for one thing, Ballard Canyon Syrah is probably the coolest wine in Santa Barbara County. I think in another couple hundred years, that's what I think Santa Barbara County will be known for. Right now, obviously, it's Pinot. But Ballard Canyon Syrah, it's a relatively cool climate compared to some Syrah producing sites. Really, really good.
So you have this really neat, kind of gnarly branch.
Actually, an ancient bristlecone pine tree, and they're found at really high elevations in eastern California. It is about 5,000 to 6,000 years old. It's obviously not alive anymore. It's almost fossilized at this point, but that's how long ago it was alive. And what's more true than something that's 6,000 years old and withstood all the natural elements for this long. So it kind of ties in what's important to me in terms of vineyards and working in conjunction with the elements, and then also it just withstood the test of time. So
very, very, very cool. I've always looked at that picture what is that?
Some people think it looks like an old head trained vine, which is kind of cool, but it's actually a tree that's at 13,000 feet elevation.
And what I've liked about it, I love wine labels. I love just going along our wine wall and just looking at all the design of the labels. But what I like about it is it looks like it's reaching for something.
Yeah.
It's going up to the sky, saying, "I'm coming, I'm there, I'm still here."
Yeah.
And, reaching for the sky.
The whole area out there, it's in the White Mountains in eastern California, is just super dramatic, just extreme elements. So the picture has a lot, and that region of California definitely have a special place in my heart. So.
It seems like it would be a much simpler life of just doing the farming aspect and not getting involved in ordering the bottles and all the
Definitely.
racking and designing the labels, and the biggest part is selling it. You know, if you can make wine, great, and it can be the most amazing wine in the world, but if you can't sell it, then
Exactly.
you have to drink a lot. So why make wine? And
I mean, it's just, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an artistic person in general, but when it comes to winemaking, I feel like, again, it's just a cool way to represent all the hard work that goes into farming it. So it's a way to share that hard work with other people. It's a way that people can appreciate the farming and the region and everything that's unique about the region.
great. I agree.
I mean, you can grow
perfect, yeah.
like you can grow broccoli and share broccoli with your family, but it's not nearly as much fun,
That's true.
as sitting around a dinner table drinking wine.
But even in the broccoli, even if you're sharing it and you're just eating the broccoli for yourself, it wouldn't taste as good as if you're sitting at a table with friends.
Yeah.
But wine, I have to agree, is a lot more fun than broccoli. So if you'd like to meet Garrett in person, he'll be pouring these 3 wines here at the Los Olivos Wine Merchant and Cafe on July 28th from 5:30 to 6:30. The cost is $25 per person. Also, we have some great ways for you to experience Ground Truth wines yourself. They're going to be offered at 20% off on our website, winemerchantcafe.com, throughout the month of July. Also, they're all 3 going to be available by the glass and also in a tasting flight. So you can get a flight of all 3 of them and taste all 3 and see which ones you like. So, Garrett, thank you for coming out and being part of our featured winemaker series.
Cheers.
Cheers to Ground Truth Wines.